Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Tay.
Welcome to the Sam and Tay's Fantasy Football Podcast. This is for Week 11 wrap-up. Crazy week. What do you think, Tay? Still open for everybody?
I don't know. It's starting to narrow down pretty easily. I think right there in front of you. I think a lot of it's gonna be tough. I don't know. It's gonna come down to who's playing who. I guess the next couple of weeks.
Yep. Yep.
And then we can kind of see who's if
Yep.
the crappy teams are playing each other, then that's pretty much eliminating each other. Whoever wins that one's probably going to be pretty much whoever loses out of it, whoever wins it still has a chance to get in it. So.
All right. Well, before we get started on the matchups, I'd like to remind everybody. Well, I don't know about remind, but I'd like to tell everybody that next week we'll be doing a video podcast, so it won't be audio. So you'll see our handsome faces on YouTube. Talking about fantasy football. So make sure you tune in.
That's a must-see.
Yeah,
that's a must-see.
Make sure you tune in for that. Hey, it's sweeps. It's sweeps week too. All the network. It's sweeps week. They're like throwing out everything. So we figured next week you and I are together. Might as well just put on a video and give our viewers what they want. So yes, make sure you tune in for that next week. It will be a video podcast. So yeah, it should be something to see. So let's go straight into the standings here. Office linebacker, he's obviously going to be number one for the next 2 weeks because there's no way nobody can catch him, even though if he loses, these next two games. But he put up monster points again. We'll talk about that once the matchup comes. Everything else, it doesn't matter. To tell you the truth, second through 10th. I don't think matters. Bringing up the rear again is Chris, and the bottom three, Tay, hasn't changed in like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? I give it to Chris because he's actually won 2 in a row. And if he can try to dig himself out of the bottom at least and make it look respectable for himself.
Not just that, but it's good. He can play spoilers, and and also all your teams that are locked in or will be locked in, keep playing because teams like myself at the bottom needs help. Like I want office linebackers to win out. So all these other players, all these other teams can lose, and hopefully I can inch my way up. To what's the 8th spot, right? 8 teams make the playoffs?
Yep, 8 teams.
Yeah, so everybody be like Chris. Keep playing, keep moving your players around, keep hitting those waiver wires, And with that, let's go to the first matchup here. Me versus Jim, Tay, and it's sad. Lost by about 6 points,
Yeah, you had a chance this week because Jim was, the second lowest score of the week, and he beat the lowest score of the week.
Yeah. Well, I could have beat somebody,
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't have the lowest score of the week, but I could have beat somebody else. T.Y. Hilton, if he would have just did his projected, and I was hoping he would have, who would have thought Indy would have done that bad? You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? And they were saying that Belichick completely took T.Y. Hilton out of the game. That's what they're saying. And then on defense, they said Belichick, his game plan was basically pound the ball and then also just take T.Y. Hilton out, and that was it. That's all. That's why Luck, all he threw to was Reggie Wayne and Fleener, his tight end. And that was
it. Fleener, oh my God, that guy had a monster game.
And that's all he threw to. I mean, he didn't really, he didn't target really much anybody else because Hilton was his main guy normally the past couple of weeks, and he got shut down. Belichick does that though, that's how he coaches, and he's a smart guy when he does stuff like that. So
Monday night game at halftime, Roethlisberger didn't do anything, and I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna win? Because I was up by like a point or two, right? I was like, man, if Roethlisberger doesn't do anything in the second half, I win. Of course, I leave my house to go run some errands, and then of course, I come back home and I lost,
Yeah, and then you know what? I was hoping he wouldn't throw anymore either because I think I had, I had a receiver, but in my other league I didn't want.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody to catch anything, so I wanted Pittsburgh just to keep running the ball, which they could have because Tennessee wasn't stopping anybody that game.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell was just crazy,
Yeah.
I mean, both of us, Jim and I, we both put up sorry numbers, Jim was just lucky he got to play, me, you know what I mean? But, because literally anybody else besides me and who's Jeff's team? Ran and Shat? Any besides us two, Jim would have lost, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So Jim lucked out. Lucky. Whatever, man. But anyways, nothing to talk about that game. It's sorry, low scoring games. Let's go to Kevin versus Don. Put up a lot of points, Tay.
Yeah, I mean it was a good matchup. I think they both kind of Don had to win more, but Kevin kind of came up and put up a lot of points on that one. Was the second highest of the week.
About yeah.
Yeah, it was a good matchup. A lot of points scored both ways. Jordy Nelson, Cutler finally came back.
Cutler, yeah.
And then of course Forte.
Cutler and Forte, crazy.
Well. Yeah, and then of course it's nice for Kevin to have Jeremy Hill still playing as a starter because Bernard was back. Who knows if Hill would have gotten all those yards. So, but congrats to Kevin too. He's 6-5. He's right in the thick of it. He's in third place, and he gets to unleash Josh Gordon next week.
That's right. He held him for these 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Because these roster spots come at a premium. You know what I mean? We have four benches. You know what I mean? So he held on to him for these last 5-6 weeks. I forget.
And he's going to look like a pretty solid, I guess, team receiver-wise. I mean, his running backs are so-so. I mean, Forte is pretty much his main guy on running back, but Hill's going to be in a platoon, and I think West and Crowell are both in a platoon in Cleveland.
No, Kevin has some dangerous receivers, including the tight end. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely Gronkowski, and then Andre Johnson not so much, but he's got Gordon and Nelson. I don't think Andre Johnson's the same. I don't
no, especially there's no quarterback there really.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. So I think Nelson and Gordon. I think that's definitely a nice combo for his receivers.
Mm-hmm. Kevin could be dangerous in the playoffs, though. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see. Yeah. With all those players, he.
Well, definitely, especially if Cutler. I mean, it depends on what Cutler does, right? Because Cutler, one moment he's the bomb, and then the next moment he plays like a shitty quarterback. Yeah, if
Cutler would have performed like he did the last 3-4 weeks, Kevin, probably safe to say Kevin wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
Thanks to Cutler. But then it goes hand in hand with Forte too, though. I mean, if Cutler played bad, I think Forte would have done bad because then they would have to throw the ball to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that goes hand in hand. But no, congrats, Kevin. You beat Don. Like Tay said, you're still in the thick of things. Let's go to the next matchup. My nemesis Scott versus Jeff. And man, Jeff, he came back. He won an impressive game last week, which I think it was against my brother. And now he just laid an egg with 52 points.
Yeah, that was. I don't really know what to say. He picked up Monty Ball. I don't know. Did he even get hurt like in the first play? I don't even know how he got hurt.
Was it the first play? Was it the first play?
Or he was stretching. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, but he went to that groin, So he didn't even get to carry the ball, actually. So maybe he was just on a blocking assignment or something like that. But he didn't even get to carry the ball one time. So
yeah. I mean, now Davis would have scored a touchdown for him, but of course that wouldn't have helped. But yeah, Monty Ball,
Yeah, I don't know what else. I mean, he didn't have anybody. I mean, everybody else was single digits besides Sanchez and Hopkins. Everybody else was kind of held in check. So I think he was probably hoping more from Ryan Matthews as he came back from injury. Against Oakland, of course, too. But surprisingly, Oakland actually played good defense in that game. And,
yeah, they did. Yeah, I
didn't give San Diego much to score. So
I thought San Diego was going to rout them, and
oh, so did I. I mean, that wasn't. But they were in there. They actually could have came back and tied that game at the very end.
Yeah. Scott has a pretty good team. Luck, Sanders, Alfred Morris, Sproles every now and then. Sproles, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
No, Scott has a good-looking team there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he definitely does. And sorry for Scott. I mean, we did that trade, and you can't look into the future, but Brandon Cooks is out for the year, so I gave him Cooks and Morris, and I took Calvin Johnson from him. So sorry about that, Scott. But at least he got Alfred Morris as a running back, but he
there
lost
you go.
Cooks for the
yeah. Hey,
and in our league, running backs are worth a lot, honestly, because we don't, you don't have much. So at least he got something out of it.
Yeah. Let's go to the next matchup, Danny versus Sog here. Ooh, by 1 point, like just a point. Oh my God.
Stat correction
Thursday. We'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? Danny could be like Kevin, and Kevin lost 2 stat corrections.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm sure neither of them can sleep for the next couple of nights here, probably, being that their playoff lives may hinge on this whole fact of stat corrections. So.
Oh, definitely. We'll have to see. Yeah, this definitely can affect them.
It's a huge shift. I mean, it's a huge shift because Danny's 7-4. Instead of him going 7-4, he'd be at 6-5, tied with everybody else, and then Sog would be back up there at 6-5 as well too. So I mean, yeah, that would be just a crazy, crazy shift right there.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers blew up. God, Evans, man. I mean, what? Jeez, killed it. And then so the top 3 guys for Danny right there, and then
that was it.
Nothing. And then Tate minus 9 yards rushing, and then Tate got cut.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. And Danny's team honestly is not that scary because he has no running backs. I mean that's just the thing is. He didn't really have one good running back. I mean, I guess if Fred Jackson comes back, but who knows? Fred Jackson, he's old too, and who knows if he's going to be healthy for the rest of the year. So that's just it. And Bush, I don't know. I heard Bush may not even. He may not. He'll be in and out all the rest of the year as well too. So he doesn't really have a clear-cut number 1 running back. So So I guess Danny's going to hope Rodgers and his receivers kind of pick him up for the whole entire run, I guess.
Yeah, and Evans been hot the last 3 weeks, but he could be streaky, you know what I mean? But we'll see, you know what I mean? We'll see how that goes with Evans. And, my brother's side, Le'Veon Bell was just a monster, 204 yards rushing. Man, this is Tennessee, though. Come on, let's not, hype it up too much, you know what I mean?
Well, now he's gonna get all the carries definitely now because Blount got cut. So
Blount's cut.
I can totally see Le'Veon Bell just being a workhorse now.
Yeah. Tom Brady will be back in there because they were up by so much, and Gray did all the work. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. Yeah. Come Thursday morning, we'll see how this plays out. Stat correction.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I kind of hope Sog wins because then that puts everybody tied.
Everybody's in the mix.
5.
Yeah, everybody's in the mix, and I'll be a good chance that I'm still in the mix too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to win out, but I need help. You know what I mean? And, we'll talk about that some more at the end too. Let's go to the next matchup. You versus Terry. Man, went up against the number 1 team in our league. Tay, what's up with that?
Top dog, man. It's like I say, he finds ways to win, and he actually finally put up one of the highest scores of the week.
He did. Yeah.
I think that's one of the first times he's done that. So I can't say anything about that. I mean, once you're going against the top scorer of the week, I mean, what can you really do but try to score more points? And I couldn't. So
Yeah.
I ended up losing. And congrats to Terry because his team pretty much blew up. I had a chance Monday night, but Montavious Bryant didn't really do anything. And, of course, Antonio Brown is Antonio Brown, and that's what I was worried about because, man, Pittsburgh loves to throw him the ball, period. It doesn't matter, so.
Yeah, but what about, Jamal Charles there? You know what I mean? Crazy. Against Seattle's defense? Dude, maybe Seattle and the 49ers defense isn't all that this year. You know what I mean?
Well, Seattle's defense is, and that's what they always said, too. Remember, don't go stretching and try to pick up a defense. You know what I mean? Like, in the early rounds, it's pointless because defenses, it changes almost every year, and you're never going to have
every week sometimes too. You know.
Oh yeah,
injuries.
You're definitely not going to have that shutdown. You know, what I mean, this year, really, honestly, the top scoring defense is Philadelphia. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's you can't really sit there and try to stretch and try to get your defense. You know, how some people try to draft them in the 7th, 8th round, and I think that's just crazy.
Yeah, and then some teams I saw have 2 defenses, one on the bench. Like, why would you do that for? You know.
In case the other defense gets hurt.
Yeah, why? Especially in our league like this, you know, where we have four benches, you know.
Yeah. Injury.
I look at Matthews did well, 107 yards and 1 TD, so that was cool.
Yeah, he's still doing well.
Yeah. I happened to pick him up, you know, in our other league, Tay. So that was cool. We'll see how that goes.
My tight end position kind of, I feel like I shouldn't even play a tight end.
Hey, the last few weeks you didn't play a tight end and gave you the same results. I mean, same total points.
I shouldn't even play a tight end because I think I can just try to win the league without a tight end, I think.
Yeah, and save that bench spot for something else, you mean?
Yeah, some more worthwhile, you know what I mean? So that's what I feel like I just need to do because my tight end position has been crappy all year, and I can't get anything from it, so I might as well just not even bother with it.
Yeah.
Actually. Maybe I'll pick up another defense. I'll pick up two.
If you get lucky, pick up the right tight end at the right time against defense. I mean, the stars align, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, who knows? That may be.
Planets align.
Also, you saw my last minute play. I also cut Green Bay defense at the very on Sunday. I cut Green Bay defense and I picked up Washington for some stupid reason, and of course Green Bay defense ended up scoring, I think, in this league like 22 points or something like that.
You know,
which would have got me closer. But it wouldn't have, that and maybe a tight end that would have scored. Maybe I would have won.
Next year, I am thinking about maybe I'll talk to Kevin about saying if a special team scores, we should give that points to defense. We're gonna talk about that because right now, if that person score the points, nobody gets that point. You know what I mean? So we'll
except that special team player if he was like an offense.
Yeah, if he was like a receiver or running back that returned like Sproles. You know what I mean? If Sproles ran it back, he would get the point. So we'll put that up in the air and we'll see if we can do that next year. But them are the breaks, Let's go to the next matchup. Chris versus Darky. What do you think? Darky, the number 1 fantasy football team ever, losing to Chris. Tay, what do you think about that?
And that's didn't Chris take down? He took down what's his name last week, didn't he? I mean, that's amazing.
He took out Hong last week.
Back-to-back weeks. I mean, that's how he's gotten his 2 wins.
Oh,
I mean, that's
damn!
crazy.
Yep. Week 10, he took down Hong. Yep.
Yeah, he took out Ving this week. So I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I think Chris is like, taking down the 2 best teams in the league. I think Chris practically is like should be crowned almost the champion at this point.
Yeah,
back-to-back week.
Back-to-back week.
That's never been done. You know what I mean? That's 2 best teams in the league, take them down back-to-back, and that's got to be hands down the best performance of a fantasy team. To do that. You know what I mean? Because Ving and Wang have like I don't know the greatest fantasy teams of all time. So that's just amazing that he was able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, what's up with Breeze? He hasn't been playing to his draft status all year. Breeze and LaShawn McCoy, I think, were not worth their draft spot. You know what I mean? This year.
Yeah, definitely. And Breeze kind of surprised me because he was at home. You know what I mean? Because normally he plays pretty well at home.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He came out. Did you see his post game interview? He kind of came out and said, almost kind of downplayed it and said, well, they're losing, but they're learning, and so I think he said they'll be all right. So
hey, you know what?
He came out and did like a Aaron Rodgers type thing, almost like the relaxed type deal. But he was like, we're learning. It's too bad that we're losing while we're learning, but he said we're going to be all right. So I think maybe they're going to make the playoffs, and he's in a crappy division, so maybe they will make the playoffs.
But that's a better post game than RG3's post game. Did you hear his post game? He threw his teammates under the bus.
Oh, did?
Dude, like, I don't know what he's thinking. I mean, I know we're going off track here, but I just want to put it out there that RG3, you are stupid. Okay, I mean, he put his team underneath the bus. Hey, one guy cannot do it. Okay, it takes 11 of us. To be a good quarterback, it takes 11 of us.
Well, and that's what happened, and that's the difference between a seasoned veteran versus pretty much a young, a young prima donna type quarterback.
Exactly. I mean, as a quarterback, even though it's not your fault, you should take the blame. You should take the blame, even if it's not your fault. But man, he came out and he was like saying how look at all the Peyton Mannings, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's. They don't do it by themselves. You know what I mean? It takes 11 guys to be a good quarterback. And I'm like, oh, my God. The coach came out the very next day and said RG3 needs to worry about himself. He don't need to worry about anybody else. That's my job, is to worry about everybody else. RG3 needs to just worry about himself. And it's just like, wow. And, of course, RG3 took to Twitter on Monday saying, I can't believe the media is taking something what I say and twisting it. I'm like, what's there to twist? What did you just say? You threw your team underneath the bus. Seriously. I didn't mean to go off track, but, you were talking about Drew Brees, talking about his post-game, and I'm like, compare that to RG3. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Agreed. I mean, it's just, like I said, that's the huge difference between a seasoned veteran and some guy that's just, that hasn't done anything, you know what I mean? And for them to talk like that, I mean, it just makes no sense.
Yeah, because, RG3 came out with a monster rookie season. Let's face it, he had a great rookie season, and he had to live up to that, It's tough, Hopefully he'll learn from this and just keep his trap shut and stay off the social media. Jeez, people.
Oh, yeah.
You don't hear Brady on social media, Andrew Luck. Oh, of course, Brady is older, okay. But you don't hear Andrew Luck on there or Aaron Rodgers on social media. Come on. Stay off of social media. Nothing but trouble. The guys from PTI, they say they don't have a Twitter account because they like their job, because they're afraid of, all these Twitter things. They're afraid, they might get in trouble, right? Like
come out and blasting something and saying something stupid, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Stay off of social media.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Or create a fake account.
Exactly. Right. But then the media won't report on it, because it's unverified. It's unverified.
Catfish yourself or something, you know what I mean?
All right, I didn't want to spend too much time on that, but let's talk about the last matchup here, Sin versus Hong, and Hong came back. He was losing. He lost 3 in a row. He lost 3 in a row, and he came back and he beat Sin. I thought Sin was rolling there too, because Sin, I think, won a few games, and Hong played like himself, himself meaning a true championship, right, Tay? True champion.
Championship form, and, he played good defense on Matt Stafford and pretty much Matt Stafford pretty much stunk it out, I think, for Detroit.
You wouldn't think that, right? Because Calvin Johnson's back and all that, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, he just totally, you would think, like you said, you would think he'd have an easy time throwing the guy. I don't know, Patrick Peterson is a decent cover corner, but still, I mean, it's Calvin Johnson, and I think Patrick Peterson's been burnt this year a lot, and I don't see how he didn't blow up against Patrick Peterson, again. But who knows? Like I said, a lot of it might just be Stafford. Who knows?
Yeah. Marshawn Lynch did well, like he always does. No
4 touchdowns this week, though.
No, there is some drama within the Seattle organization with Lynch and his contract, and of course Lynch Lynch isn't much of a talker, but he's unhappy with his contract situation. Honestly, this could be his last season with Seattle.
I think definitely it's his last season.
Yeah.
I don't think he's back. He's not going to come back. They have two young guys that they can who are cheaper and I think they can probably fill the void if they need to.
Yeah, and it sucks too because you know how good Lynch is, but NFL it's a young man's game. In the running back position, young and yeah, it sucks for somebody like Lynch. You know what I mean? But that's how it goes. But let's go back to Hong's team here. I mean, he didn't have great performance out of too many people, just about average, but good double digits from a few players there.
Yeah, and he's got. He had his hot pickup, C.J. Anderson, who, he got good points, and he looks like he's gonna be the workhorse now too, because like I said, Monty Ball's injured again, so it looks like it's just pretty much C.J. Anderson and then the rookie, behind him, and that's it. So.
Okay.
It might be pretty good for him.
Okay, so say after Hong won and Ving lost, does that put Hong at team number 1A and then Ving at team number 1B? Like, to win it all? Do you think you give the edge to Hong now? To win it all,
You kind of have to just because of the record, right? I mean, they're 1-6-5, the other one's 5-6, and that's pretty much where you got to put it right for now. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Next week, it may switch around just because, Ving may win and then Wang may lose, and so, I think it's a week-on-week basis.
Yeah, I mean, the standings are so close. You and I both think Hong and Ving can still make the championship, right? Meet each other in the championship. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have still the best odds, I think, of winning the whole thing. I mean, Terry's 10-1, but I mean, 10-1 means nothing when you're in the playoffs, right?
Yep.
I mean, you got to win the playoffs. I mean, so Terry may lose the first week, especially if he plays one of these two, right? I mean, maybe. And right now, as it would be, he would play Bing in that 8th spot. So easily.
Yeah, Ving would win that one for sure, hands down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like a gimme. I mean, that's like a bye week for Ving.
Yeah. Yep, we'll see how that goes. But everybody's still, everybody's still in the mix of things. All the way from 13th place, I think, 13th through the 9th spot. I think we all can still make the playoffs.
Yeah. The only thing that's hurting, of course, 13th Jeff's spot is his total points. I mean, that's just at 973. That's probably not going to tie break much. So that's the only thing that's going to hurt him is he needs the points.
He's the only one that's not in 1,000. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That's definitely going to hurt him.
All right, Tay. Let's talk about the obvious pickup of the week. Jonas Gray. What do you think? You think we'll have a repeat performance?
I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to say. I think a lot of it's just Bill Belichick. I think he knew what he was going to do with game plan wise. I think he was just going to run. Because honestly, if you think about it too, he would. You would have thought maybe he would split carries with him and Vereen and did all this stuff. But I think a lot of it's just because Jonas Gray is their best between the tackle runner right now. Ridley's gone for the year. They have Jonas Gray. I think James White was the other guy who was inactive. So all Belichick was going to do was just pound him. I think he knew that. I think he was going to pound him for 30-something carries, let him run it, get him 4 touchdowns, whatever it is. And I bet you this week he may come back and play Vereen, and you just never know. Like Vereen,
you never know. Yeah,
he'll play on the outside because Detroit actually in the middle is a lot better than Indianapolis, right? Indianapolis doesn't have a front seven. They don't have much of a line, and so I think he knew that. I think he was just pounding it straight in the middle. Well, next week they play Detroit, and it may be a lot better for him to try to suit him to try to go to the outside, which would be Vereen because Vereen's a better outside runner, and so I mean it's going to be back and forth. But I mean Gray's definitely going to be he's definitely the top pickup. I mean you can't you can't bypass 40-some points that he put up on the board pretty much.
So Saul has the first waiver pickup. You think he'll go for Jonas Gray?
Well, yeah, he's got Peterson, right? I mean, I'm hoping he's not going to hold on to Peterson at this point.
No. Okay, let's face the news, guys. Peterson, if you don't know by now, if you've been living under a rock, Peterson is suspended for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I don't think he's. I mean, even though he can appeal this and do
He
this,
can be, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know if you saw Yahoo, but Yahoo has him projected for like 17 points this week. Like they have him projected for the rest of the year. Like they have his projection.
It could be computerized. I'll tell you. I'm almost certain it's computerized.
I'm pretty sure it is, but even computerized, you would be like, okay, let's just put zeros there for now until he's officially like been playing. You know what I mean? Like why even bother putting points by him because you don't even know if he's back yet. Because then he's not like he's coming back from IR. You know what I mean? Like he's coming back from being not playing because nobody wants him to play. So
NFL don't want him to play. Everybody, the players, the players union, they want him to play. Let's go to Andy Dalton. Didn't somebody drop him? And then he's available. So I mean, you guys out there that needs a QB here, Andy Dalton's available. He kind of blew up this weekend against New Orleans. He's available. Drew Stanton. I mean, dude, let's face it. He's gonna have to carry Arizona. So he's worth a look if you guys need a QB. So wow, there's a lot of QBs out there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot because being our list is of course 4 bench spots. There's a lot of QBs because I think everybody's set on their number one. Bye weeks are pretty much past. They're just cutting QBs because honestly, right? I mean, there's no reason to hold on to QB.
True. Yeah. If you have one QB already, you don't need a second.
Yeah, because you're not gonna flip flops. I think one of my leagues I did the same thing. I think I had the one spot and I ended up cutting Russell Wilson in one of my leagues. Because I had Andrew Luck. I mean, I'm not gonna play Russell Wilson over Andrew Luck. Period. And so I needed a bench spot. I cut Russell Wilson for someone else because there was a lot better out there potential wise that I could pick up. And I'm never gonna sit there and go, oh, maybe I'll start Wilson this week. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna.
But with that said, you don't want to give somebody ammo. So I mean,
well, you don't.
Hypothetically, dude, if I had Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, I'm not gonna drop Aaron Rodgers even though I can only play. Peyton Manning,
in that case,
I
wouldn't. Right. If you have those two, yes. But I'm talking about Andrew Luck and then Russell Wilson, who Russell Wilson in the last couple of weeks has not been Russell Wilson anyway. So and that's what I said. And looking at Andy Dalton, looking at some of these players, that they're going to be up and down. It's not like you're not having a Rodgers, Manning, a Luck. You know what I mean? Like those guys almost every week perform at least they're projected. You know what I mean? They perform at that, and then you get those weeks where they blow up and they're 2-3 times they're projected. But most of the time, they're never, ever going to sit there and be below par. It's just, you have to, those quarterbacks are hard to come by, so you have to take that. And everybody else is pretty much, honestly, cuttable because you can always pick up a quarterback.
Yep. And if you need a tight end, Kobe Fleener is out there. So
yeah, he is.
Just to let you know.
I don't know. I don't know. I could pick him up and play him against you, but, at this point, like I said, I really don't feel like I need to play tight end anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just open it for a bench spot and pick up a wide receiver or running back or something. I don't know. The tight end spots burn me all year, and I feel like I'm winning better when I don't have one in there. I
mean, all season he only had 3 double-digit games, fantasy point-wise. So yeah. Okay, great. That's it for Picks-Up. And again, reminder, everybody, we will be doing a video podcast next week, so you'll see our handsome faces on video on YouTube. So make sure you definitely tune in on that.
I was going to ask you real quick. Are you going to you want my wife to do makeup for you?
No, dude. Because ESPN has that. Because then
you want the glare off. You know what I mean?
Well, because then I want to steal that line from the ESPN show. We're men wearing makeup talking about sports. Then I would want to feel like I want to steal that line. You know what I mean? If I were to I thought about this already today. I was like, if I were to wear makeup, I would use that line. But I can't. But anyways, definitely check in the podcast next week. We should definitely do more video podcasts. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, for today, I'm Sam. Thank you all for listening in.